Level 1. The kid who grows up in it. You're 8 years old and the neighborhood is the only world you know, which means the rules of the neighborhood are the only rules that feel real to you. You know which corners belong to which people. You know which men get respected when they walk into a room, and which men move out of the way when those men arrive. You know this the way other kids know which lunch table belongs to whom, by watching, by absorbing, by understanding power before you have a word for it. Your uncle is one of the men people move for. He drives a car that doesn't belong on this block, and wears a watch that catches light in a way that makes people look twice. He brings your mother money in an envelope sometimes, and she takes it without asking questions, and you watch that transaction and file it somewhere deep. You are not thinking about consequences yet. You are thinking about the watch. You are thinking about the way people move. You want that. You don't know yet what it costs. Level 2, the runner. 13, and somebody trusts you with something small. A package from one corner to another. A message delivered to a man outside a restaurant who nods and gives you folded bills that feel enormous in your pocket on the walk home. You don't ask what's in the package because you already know that not asking is part of the job, and knowing that already, at 13, means you were built for this environment in a way that is both an advantage and a sentence you haven't read the end of yet. You're useful. Being useful to these men feels better than anything school has offered you, because school offers you a future that feels abstract and the money in your pocket is real right now. The older guys start to notice you, not because you're the biggest or the loudest, but because you're quiet and you're smart and you never tell anyone anything. In this world, silence at 13 is worth more than bravado at 20. Level 3, the soldier. 17, and you're in. Not asked, exactly. You were never not going to be in, not with the life you've lived and the men you've been running for, and the neighborhood that shaped everything you know about loyalty and consequence. You're a soldier, which means you do what you're told by men above you, and you do it completely and without question, because the questioning comes later when you've earned the right to question. You collect what needs collecting. You stand where you're told to stand. You handle situations that require handling in ways you don't describe out loud afterward. There are things you do at 17 that close certain doors permanently, and you know this while you're doing them, and you do them anyway, because the door that's open in front of you is the only one that has ever felt like yours. Your mother doesn't ask. She already knows. Her silence is its own kind of grief that you won't fully understand for years. Level 4, the earner. 22, and you build a reputation for getting things done cleanly and for keeping your mouth shut, which in this life is the entire resume. You run your own small operation now, a crew of 4 men, a territory that produces real money, and you answer to a capo who answers to someone above him, and the structure above you is old and vast and moves like a slow river that has cut its shape into ground over decades. You are learning the difference between violence and the threat of violence, which is the most important lesson this world teaches. Because the men who last are the ones who understand that fear is a resource and fear spent is fear gone. You spend it carefully. The money moves upward, and a percentage stay with you, and that percentage buys the car and the apartment, and the watch you've been thinking about since you were 8 years old watching your uncle walk into a room. The watch is exactly what you thought it would be. It is not enough. It is never going to be enough. You already know this about yourself. Level 5, the capo. 29, and you're running a crew of 20 men, overseeing operations across 3 neighborhoods, and reporting directly to a man who has been in this life since before you were born. The money at this level is real in a way that changes your daily existence completely. You move your mother out of the neighborhood. You do it quietly, and she doesn't ask where the money came from, and you don't tell her, and both of you understand that the conversation you're not having is the kindest one available to you. The job at this level is mostly management, which surprises people who think this life is about the street. It isn't, not at this level. It's about keeping 20 men in line, keeping the money clean, keeping the peace with other crews who share borders with yours, and doing all of it while law enforcement watches from a distance, taking notes, building a picture they've been building for years. You are aware of the picture. You are always aware of the picture. Level 6, the Underboss. 35, and there is one man above you, and you are the man below him who makes everything work. You are the one who solves the problems that can't be solved in public. You are the one the capos call when something goes wrong at 2 in the morning. You are the one who keeps the organization breathing when the boss is unavailable, which is a word that covers a range of situations this life produces regularly. The weight of it is real, and you carry it the way you carry everything, without showing it, because showing is the one thing you were never allowed to do, and the habit is built so deep now it doesn't feel like a habit anymore. It feels like your face. Your instincts at this level are almost entirely correct, because you've been reading rooms and men and situations for 20 years, and experience in this life is the difference between prison and freedom, between breathing and not. Level 7, the boss. 42 years old and the man above you is gone, removed by time or law or the logic of this life that eventually catches everyone. And the organization turns toward you the way a room turns toward the person who is always going to speak next. You are the boss. The title changes nothing about the work and everything about the weight. Every decision flows upward to you now, and every consequence flows downward from you. And the distance between those two facts is where you live permanently. You sit at the head of a table that has had other men in your seat, and some of them died in it, and you think about that without sentimentality, because sentimentality at this level is a liability you can't afford. The money is generational now. Your children will not want for anything. They will also not know fully where it came from. That is by design. That is the one mercy you have left to give them. Level 8, the Untouchable. 50, and you have survived long enough to become an institution, which in this life means the law has tried to dismantle you more than once, and the organization has absorbed every attempt and continued. Informants have come close. Indictments have been prepared and fallen apart. Men you trusted turned, and you found out before it mattered. You are not lucky. Luck doesn't last 50 years. You are careful in a way that has become its own kind of genius, a constant low-frequency awareness of threat that runs underneath every conversation and every meal and every handshake. The younger men in the organization look at you the way you once looked at your uncle. You see it. You remember what it felt like from the other side. And what you know now that you didn't know then is that the watch is never the answer to the question the watch seems to be answering. Level 9, the end of it. 60, and this life has a way of ending in one of three places. And you have watched men you respected end in all three of them. And you have spent 40 years trying to navigate toward the one that lets you see your grandchildren. The walls close the way they always close in this life. Slowly and then all at once. Maybe it's a courtroom. Maybe it's a hospital. Maybe it's simply the morning you decide that the weight has become heavier than the life it's protecting, and you find the quietest possible exit from something that was never designed to have one. You think about the 8-year-old who watched his uncle walk into a room and wanted the thing that made people move. You got it. You held it for 30 years. What you understand now, too late to change and too late to pass on to anyone who would listen, is that the thing people move for is not the thing you were actually looking for. You were looking for safety. You were looking for certainty. You built the most dangerous life available to find it. It was never here. Somewhere right now, an 8-year-old is watching a man walk into a room and making people move. The kid is filing something away. They don't have a word for it yet. They just know they want that. They have no idea what wanting will cost them or how long the bill takes to arrive.